Hey, what's going on, guys? Victor Chambers here, back with another video. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. On this channel, I bring you up close and behind the scenes on my journey as a notary loan signing agent and entrepreneur. If you find value in this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and also hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload brand new content. But before we get into today's content, I want to quickly shout out my homie Dominica. If you look at the shirt I have on, I picked it up from her store. She has a great channel, provides great content, and has a great store with great merch. I'll put a link down in the description below for you to go check that out. I'll also link to her channel in my description below so you can go ahead and check out all the information and content and value she's providing over there. So don't forget to go support what she's doing. So in this video, we're going to talk about spousal states and community property states. And if you saw one of the videos I posted this week where I mentioned I did a signing for a Texas property, this video was kind of triggered by my experience in that particular signing with a Texas property where there was an issue with the vesting on the deed of trust in that particular loan package, and also some of the title documents. And in that signing, the signer actually had a conversation with the lender, and there was some discrepancy. But ultimately, we were able to clear it up and successfully complete the signing. But it prompted me to do a little bit of research on my own to understand a little bit more about spousal states and community property states. I'm in New Jersey, and I've always known that New Jersey was a spousal state, but I never really looked that much into what it means. And so that experience prompted me to just kind of go and just do some general browsing and kind of understand a little more about spousal states, and as a result, community property states as well. And that's the thing about when you're doing loan signings, every day is going to be something different. You're going to learn something new in practically every signing you take. And as you encounter these things, as you encounter these difficult situations, it should prompt you to go and research and learn, not so that you can give a signer or a borrower any sort of legal advice. You should definitely not be doing that, but just so you can become more adept in the documents, and you can become more aware of and more in tune with the industry and what actually is happening when you're at the closing table and what the documents are entailing. Again, we are notaries, but we are also loan signing agents. It is not the expectation for us to be experts per se in the docs or experts on mortgages, or again, not to provide any legal advice, but so that you can have a level of comfort at the table and kind of understand why things are done a certain way. I think it'll greatly add to your skill set and greatly add to your resume, if you will. Especially when you go direct and you start talking to title companies, you can have intelligent conversations about the subject matter with people that are experts. So without any further ado, I kind of want to share a resource with you I came across as I was doing a little bit of research, and I'll put a link to this down in the description below. So this resource is from Meridian Home Mortgage Corporation, and it was just something I came across. I'm not, I don't know them. I have no affiliation with them. I just came across the site, and it seems to provide good solid information. I would, of course, recommend that you go and do your own research, especially for what's specific to your state. But I found this particular website very helpful, and they just kind of walk through spousal states and community property states in a very succinct way. So this is important information for you to know. If you're buying a property or refinance a property, what the closing is going to entail from the standpoint if you're married or if there's a spouse involved. So it just defines here, if you're married and a homeowner in the spousal state, your spouse has to sign certain documents to attest that he or she knows about the new loan. Okay, so typically it says here that the spouse will need to sign the deed of trust or the mortgage, depending on where you are, the right to cancel, the truth in lending disclosures, various title and settlement docs. Now, it says that your spouse is not financially responsible for the mortgage by signing these documents as long as they are not on the note. Now, I've seen a lot of conversation about this, especially from newer loan signing agents, where there's a husband and a wife, for example, on a mortgage, but only one of them is on the note. Now, it's important to understand that with the note is the document that legally obligates the borrower to pay the mortgage, and so only the borrower or borrowers will be on the note. So while a husband and wife, for example, may be on title and may be signing the mortgage, only the borrower, which may be only one of them, will be on the note because, for example, that's who the lender used their information, ran their credit. That will also or should also align with the borrowers that are listed on the loan application. So for example, if the husband is on the loan application and the wife isn't, then it's highly likely, almost 100%, that only the husband will be on the note because he is the borrower. However, both of them will probably have to sign the deed of trust or the mortgage, per what this is saying here. So again, this says the spouse is not financially responsible for the mortgage by signing these documents. And so notaries out there, you should never be doing things like, adding a line and writing in a name on a note, especially not without a lender's approval. But stuff like that, when you get to the signing table and, there are surprises somehow because someone is or isn't on certain documents, you should definitely be speaking to the lender and not just making changes to the documents based on what the signer says. Especially not to the note, because that is, again, the legal instrument that obligates the borrower to actually pay the mortgage. So anyone on the deed to your home must sign spousal documents, whether or not you live in a spousal state. All homeowners of the home must acknowledge that you are borrowing money against the home. So that kind of describes what a spousal state is. And again, I'll put a link to this site in the description below. I'll also, again, encourage you to do your own research to kind of understand what this means in your state, just for your own educational purposes. Okay. Now, community property states, not only does your spouse have to sign the legal documents, but they are also financially responsible for the mortgage, regardless of whether they are on the loan or not. All right. So in community property states, all liabilities are considered 50%. Are considered 50% responsibility of both spouses. Therefore, your spouse's debts may negatively affect your mortgage application. Now, again, this is not something as a notary loan signing agent we have to figure out per se. This is just, I think, good information for us to know and to understand. All right. So this is why in the signing I mentioned that I did the other day, that the borrower was a little confused because when he purchased the property, his wife wasn't on the deed. However, when he refinanced the property, she was put onto the deed and was added to the deed of trust. I'm sorry. And he was a little confused about that. There might have been the previous lender that they used to purchase the property might have did that in error in terms of not putting the wife on those documents. I'm not sure. It wasn't my job in the moment to decode what was quote unquote right or wrong. It was just to make sure that the borrower felt comfortable with signing the documents, and we did that. Made him comfortable, or he got comfortable signing the documents that were in front of him based on the conversation with the lender. So this site also lists spousal states and community property states. So as you can see, quite a few of the states are spousal states, and then there's less than a dozen or so that are community property states. But just wanted to make this quick video about the topic, and more as a reason and more as a way to prompt you to just go and do your own research in your state, so you can understand a little more about this for your state, especially as a notary loan signing agent. You'll likely be doing signings for majority of which for properties are in your state. But you may come across doing signings in for properties in other states, like I came across, where I'm in New Jersey and the property was in Texas. So it's just good to have a command of the language to some degree, so you can have, again, intelligent conversations with lenders, and title companies and borrowers. Again, not to give them legal advice or to give them any kind of advice or direction. You are a neutral third party as a notary loan signing agent. But however, to have these conversations, with lenders again and title companies, you want to know a little bit about this, in my opinion. So I hope this was helpful. Again, this wasn't to decode spousal states and community property states or to have a big in-depth training about it. It's really just to kind of raise awareness that this is something that we should have a bit of knowledge on, to some degree. So hope this was helpful. Hope this prompted you to go and do your own research for your state. Again, if you found value in this video, like this video, and subscribe to the channel. Again, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload brand new content. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.